My name is Sarah Chen, and I want to tell you about the most expensive lesson my husband ever learned. It cost him exactly $1.2 million, 18 years of marriage, and everything he thought he knew about himself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Picture this: Seattle, 2018. Rain pattering against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Harrison Tech's gleaming corporate tower. My husband David, 45 and impeccably dressed in his tailored navy suit, striding through those halls like he owned them. In many ways he did. Vice President of Cybersecurity, corner office overlooking Elliott Bay, respect from colleagues, fear from competitors. At home in our Tudor-style house in Bellevue, I was living what many would call the perfect life. 18 years of marriage, a daughter in college, financial security, social standing. I edited lifestyle pieces for a local magazine. Not exactly the investigative journalism I dreamed of in college, but dreams have a way of adapting to reality, don't they? What I didn't know, as I made David's coffee each morning and asked about his increasingly late nights at the office, was that my husband was about to make a choice that would unravel everything we'd built together. Her name was Melissa Torres. I never met Melissa during the affair, but I came to know her intimately through David's behavior. She was 38, strategic manager for the cybersecurity division, striking and professional with what David would later describe as understated elegance. I watched my husband fall in love with her through 1,000 small betrayals. The way he suddenly cared about his appearance again, spending extra time in front of the mirror each morning. The secretive phone calls. The distant look in his eyes during dinner, as if he was somewhere else entirely. You see, I wasn't stupid. I'd been an investigative journalist before I became a corporate wife, before I traded my dreams of changing the world for the comfort of David's rising career. I knew how to read people, how to spot deception, how to follow the evidence. The evidence was everywhere. David thought he was being careful, but men having affairs always think they're being careful. They check their phones constantly but angle them away from their wives. They come home with a guilty enthusiasm, overcompensating with sudden interest in household projects or unexpected gifts. They become solicitous about things they've ignored for years. Are you having an affair? I asked him one morning in our kitchen, the question cutting through the polite veneer we'd maintained for months. The coffee cup froze halfway to his lips. His hands shook slightly. In that moment before he even spoke, I had my answer. When David finally confessed, I felt something unexpected: relief. The certainty was almost liberating after months of suspicion and self-doubt. Her name is Melissa Torres, he said, sitting across from me in our living room, the coffee table between us like a chasm. She's the strategic manager for the cybersecurity division. 6 weeks, he told me. They'd been together for 6 weeks. Do you love her? I asked, dreading the answer but needing to hear it. After a long pause. I think so. Those 3 words shattered 18 years of marriage more completely than the affair itself. Because infidelity can be forgiven. It's a moment of weakness, a mistake, a lapse in judgment. But love. Love is a choice. Love is a betrayal of everything we'd promised each other. I threw him out that night. Stood in our living room, surrounded by family photos and shared memories, and told the man I'd loved since college to get out of my house. He packed a suitcase and drove away, leaving me alone with the wreckage of our life together. What David didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that I'd already begun preparing for this moment months before his confession. You don't spend 12 years married to a corporate executive without understanding compensation structures, stock options, and annual payouts. I knew about the share distribution. I knew that Harrison Tech's most successful year in company history was about to result in substantial bonuses for senior executives. I knew that David's division had performed exceptionally well, and I knew approximately what that performance was worth. $2.4 million as it turned out. So when David came crawling back 3 weeks later, after his precious Melissa had dumped him for a better offer at Brennan Industries, I was ready. I want to come home, he said, standing on our doorstep like a lost puppy. I made a terrible mistake. I threw away 18 years for something that was never real. I could have slammed the door in his face. Part of me wanted to. But I'd spent those 3 weeks thinking, planning, calculating. I'd realized something important. Revenge served cold is more satisfying than revenge served hot. So I let him back in. What followed was 6 months of the most sophisticated emotional manipulation I've ever orchestrated. I became the perfect wife rebuilding a broken marriage. I suggested couples therapy with Dr. Patricia Wong. I initiated date nights, intimate conversations, tentative physical reconnection. I asked thoughtful questions about his feelings, his fears, his hopes for our future. I performed forgiveness while planning my exit strategy. David thought he was earning back my trust, but really, he was running out the clock on the fiscal year. Every therapy session, every romantic dinner, every night I let him hold me in bed was bringing us closer to the share payout that would secure my financial independence. Don't misunderstand me. This wasn't easy. There were moments when I almost convinced myself that we really could rebuild what we'd lost. David was trying, genuinely trying, to be the husband I'd always wanted. He was attentive, remorseful, committed to change. But I remembered something he'd said during his confession. "We've been strangers in this house for years, Sarah. We both know it." He was right. We had been strangers. But strangers don't betray each other. Only people who made vows do that.